If you want to have less clutter in your home, stop decluttering. Did you know that Americans spend $2.7 billion every year replacing lost items in their home that they can't find because their home is too cluttered? If you've been approaching decluttering with the idea that you need to just get rid of stuff, I have an eye-opening video for you today. A lot of decluttering videos will tell you that if you want to have a clutter-free home, you need to get rid of a certain number of things, or you can only have so much of one thing, and that you need to live with less. And sure, these are things that you can do, but today I'm sharing why, if you really want the benefit of a clutter-free life, you need to stop decluttering in the traditional sense. If you've been watching my channel, you know that I've been decluttering for a while now. I've been doing a mix of normal decluttering, and I'm also doing Swedish death cleaning. I've learned that decluttering is a multifaceted process. I used to think it was just like widespread, let's get rid of things. What I've learned is that instead, you need to put the emphasis on intentional decision making, also organization and prioritization. So your goal and our goal is to optimize the use of available space, right? Like, we've got a house, it has so much space that we can store stuff and keep stuff. And the way to optimize it is we need to make it functional for our lives. So what works for you may not work for the person next door, may not work for me, but it needs to work for you, and it needs to work with your space and be functional for your life. So let me just give you an example of that. A lot of organizational videos will tell you you need to have an empty kitchen counter, and that is the only way to have an uncluttered kitchen. One of my amazing subscribers, she said that her partner is a visual organizer and he needs to see his stuff. And so when he's cooking or doing things in the kitchen, if he doesn't see his utensils or items that he needs right in front of his eyes, he's just not going to be able to do things as well, and it won't work. The goal is functionality and making it functional for you. And if functional for you is utensils in sight, then that's what it is. If you're enjoying this content, go ahead and click that subscribe button down below. It is free. I make videos twice a week on enhancing your home and simplifying your life. Okay, so continuing along with this functional idea, decluttering is about making your items that you want to keep and making them accessible and useful in your life. So you want to really create something that you can use every day and you feel good about. In my kitchen, I had this cabinet and I used to store all kinds of random things in it, just things I wasn't really using. And it happened to be right next to where I keep my glasses and where my water is. So I decided I was going to store things in there like vitamins, supplements, things I use for my coffee. It's right above the coffee pot. And so I completely decluttered that cabinet and I reorganized it in a way that was functional for me. It doesn't mean that's going to be like a functional way for everybody. But what you need to do is think about, how do I use my kitchen? How do I use this space? And what can I do in here to set it up so that it's most useful for me? When you do it that way, it really eliminates you storing things in like the rooms that you use very frequently and just kind of storing them there, taking up space and pushing out the things that you actually use and you actually want to store. There are no rules here. With decluttering, there are no rules. It's simply about making it useful and working for you. I was reading a video and one guy commented how he wakes up early and he doesn't want to wake up his daughter or his wife. And so what he does is he stores his toothbrush and toothpaste in the kitchen and he will go down to the kitchen and brush his teeth there in the morning. And that's what works for him. It's a perfect example of creating a structure that works for your life. Another thing that I want to talk about with decluttering is joy and well-being. And if you follow KonMari at all and you're familiar with Marie Kondo, you know that she talks a lot about sparking joy. And she's saying that when you decide if you want to keep an item, you have to think to yourself, is this sparking joy for me? The thought is that you want to retain your belongings that bring you joy and make you feel good and contribute to your overall well-being. Essentially, you're going to surround yourself with things that make you happy and make you feel good, because this creates a connection to your space and a connection to your things, and it just improves your life overall, right? Marie Kondo isn't just about decluttering. She's really kind of like selling you this whole idea of joy and a happy life. Okay, so now let's talk about decluttering and mindful consumption, because you can't really think about decluttering and making a functional, organized home if you don't talk about mindful spending and what you're bringing into your home. Before you bring something into your home, you really need to consider what value will this bring into my space? Like, do I need this and will I use it? And what value will it add to my life? Because a lot of times we buy things for whatever reason. Maybe it's like impulsive. Maybe we think we need it. Maybe we just can't find what we're looking for. And so we need to replace it. So you really need to think long and hard before you bring things into your home, because while it seems like a good idea today, in 5 years, in 2 years, maybe even in 5 months, it's not going to be a good idea because it's just going to contribute to the clutter. I've had many purchases over my life that I thought, I really need this. This is going to be great. And then a couple months later, I'm thinking, why did I buy this? So really consider that before you bring things into your house. You really need to be picky and selective about what you're letting in. And then finally, just know that decluttering isn't about conforming to a certain aesthetic or lifestyle. This is kind of where I'm going with a lot of this, but a lot of people will show you, okay, well, this is what a decluttered kitchen looks like, or this is what a decluttered home looks like. And again, it is highly personal in what that could look like for you. You need to take in account like your lifestyle. How do you use the rooms in your house? What are your preferences? What are your needs? Idea is to build your space tailored to yourself, but then conforming to your own sense of comfort and your own sense of style. Okay, so I'll just give you a little bit of homework. This is how you're gonna implement all of this. The first thing that you're gonna do is you are going to pick your 3 most used rooms, whether that's like your kitchen, your bedroom, your bathroom. I mean, those are probably it, right? But maybe you've got an office space or a workshop or your garage. So you're gonna pick those 3 rooms, and then you're gonna write down how you use those rooms. What are the things that you do in those rooms? And you don't even need to think about it. You could actually write it down as you're using the rooms so that you know exactly how you do it. Like for me, I know in the kitchen, obviously I'm cooking, I'm doing dishes, I'm taking my vitamins, I'm making my coffee. I'm just kind of writing down the things that I do in those rooms that I do every day or like on a regular basis, and I'm understanding what those are. And it could be weird things. Maybe it's brushing your teeth at the sink, right? Like whatever you do in those rooms, just write it down so that you know this is how I use this room. Once you've got that list, now we're gonna go through the room and we're gonna look around and we're gonna see if the room is set up for doing that. So just going with this brushing your teeth example, if you brush your teeth in the kitchen, where's your toothbrush and toothpaste? Is it sitting next to your kitchen sink, or do you have a designated space for it? I'm hoping that you want to have a designated space for it so that you can put it away, everything in its place. We all know that rule by now. But if you look around your kitchen, is there a place to put it? I bet that there might not be, because if it's anything like my kitchen, everything is full. So you're going to go ahead and look around this room, and you are going to designate spaces to do the things that you've got on your list. So if you've got making coffee on your list, you're going to go ahead and you're going to find a shelf or an area where you can have all of your coffee supplies right there in the kitchen. If you've got vitamins or supplements on your list and that's the place you take them, same thing. You're going to find a shelf or an area where you can put those vitamins and supplements, because we are making this room functional and we're going to declutter what doesn't belong in this room. And then finally, we're going to get right to it. We're going to gather the things that we need for these activities that we've got. So if it's taking your vitamins and supplements, we're going to gather all those vitamins and supplements together. We're going to put them in a basket, or we're going to put them into a tray, something to kind of keep them together, and we're going to put them exactly where you want to keep them. And in this process, if you've got to declutter a shelf, declutter a cabinet, empty something out, go ahead and do it and get rid of things that you're not using. Just be ruthless. If you haven't used something in a year, 2 years, you don't need it. Get rid of it and make that space work for you. Make it organized in the way that you use it and the way that you want it and how you want it to look. Okay, guys, those are my tips on how to stop decluttering in the traditional sense and making your home work for you. This is just scratching the surface, but I really think if you implement some of these tips, it will really help you to have that uncluttered space and a space that you love and really enjoy being in. Thank you so much for watching. I'm gonna go ahead and link a video, click on it, and I'll see you over there. Bye-bye.